So in the last round of Archimedea, I came across a weapon that I had not looked at in a long time, the PRISMA OHMA. You might have not even heard of this thing before, probably because it's a barrel kit tier special. Here's why I think it's worth getting, when you can that is, and why you probably won't regret investing some forma into this, maybe even a Riven, especially if it's cheap. Stats wise, the PRISMA OHMA's got innate electricity, which is great because we can turn that into radiation, which will come in handy against some of the Entrati enemies. It's also got pretty good base damage, 30% crit chance, 2.2x multiplier, and 20% status. The Riven disposition, however, is not too great. It's at 0.75x, which begs the question, Mello, why the heck did you go out of your way to get a Riven for this? Well, it was kinda cheap at 28 plats, and if you were to head on over to the Riven listings on Warframe Market today, you'll probably find quite a few that are still affordable. Also, I don't have a great relationship with money, even virtual ones it seems. Sucks. So there's a couple of ways you can build the PRISMA OHMA. Here's one focused on combos and leveraging the absolutely insane stance mod bonuses. With Sovereign Outcast, attacking in a neutral position, meaning not moving while pressing E, will allow you to proc impact and slash on the enemy followed by a forced knockdown, which means they're then open to ground finishers, where you'll gain 8,000% final multiplier on your attack, which will certainly delete a lot of things out there, especially when you're at max combo. The rest is pretty typical of a combo focused build, really only does get going at higher combo multipliers, so I do highly recommend Narumon, or maybe replacing one of the mods here with a Drifting Contact. Sorry for the interruption guys, yeah, ads suck, especially on YouTube, but how about a helpful recommendation? I bet you all buy your games on Steam, which is great, but what if there's a way to get those games and some free stuff on the side? Well, all you gotta do is just buy them on Green Man Gaming, where even if you get something at full price, you'll still receive benefits in the form of XP, which is part of their loyalty program. All the Steam keys sold here are also sourced directly from the publishers, so no middlemen or scammy nonsense. I've also found that sometimes there's better deals here than on even Steam, not to mention that a portion of any money spent on Green Man Gaming does go towards ecosystem restoration initiatives, which is pretty cool to see. It's kinda nice to know that your dollar would go further than just ending up in some OnlyFans Thoughts bathtub. So the next time you're thinking about buying games, it's probably worth checking out Green Man Gaming through the links in the description. Even just clicking on them to see what's on sale today does help out the channel a lot.
Please note that for adblock users, the links in the description may get flagged. Do not be alarmed. Your internet history is safe. Purchases made on the site are recorded solely for the purposes of crediting the channel appropriately. It helps Mello afford soup time for the month.
So yeah, feel free to whitelist and save those links, save yourself some money, and get gaming today. Now obviously I had to use this thing in an Archimedea run a couple of weeks back. The combo/status build works great on most of the ground enemies. Not so great against the big bad rogue necromechs that already have special resistance to status effects, where you can only stack up to a maximum of 4 of each type. I mean, Condition Overload will work just fine, but I'm not convinced that the status/combo focused build would be the best approach. Perhaps a crit build like this one might perform better. I mean, the base stats of the PRISMA OHMA kinda lend themselves to a crit build in my opinion. It would be really nice if we could, you know, spawn these guys in the simulacrum to test and know for sure which build would be better, but can't have everything in Warframe, I suppose. A little side note, regardless of the builds, I am really digging the Dreamer's Wrath Tennokai mod. If you don't have one yet and don't care to farm for it, just go ahead and buy the thing through the in-game market console. Well worth it. So let's go back to that Riven for a bit. At first glance, I thought I'd have to reroll this for better stats, but then realized it's actually great as is, because for slash procs or DOTs, no, I'm not really using those terms properly, especially proc, but you know what I mean. Might have to put out a video explaining what the heck a proc is. Anyways, base damage is quite important for slash proc damage, and this Riven is basically a full-on damage booster. The elements are also perfect because they line up with the build I got to produce viral and radiation, which is what most of the Entrati Labs enemies are weak to. You can't complain, really. Either of the builds I mentioned should work fine for Archimedea use. kind of a big asterisk there, as conditions can vary severely. I had Ember paired with the PRISMA OHMA for the last Archimedea run, and I gotta say, stuff went way smoother than the week before with Nidus. Ember is awesome in the way she can strip you completely with just 2 moves. Also, can we just appreciate how the new lighting update makes her skin or suit texture look? I personally love the subtle sheen here, and I still think Ember is one of the best looking female frames. Would probably pick her over Wisp, and yes, I know how you guys all love Wisp. Just wish she got maybe a bit of a polygon update, some lack of polygons in critical areas in my opinion. Yes, you are welcome to my basement at any time. But yeah, PRISMA OHMA, love how it looks, love how it sounds, the way it attacks. Wished it maybe had a tad more range, but honestly, I enjoyed this thing enough to go and get a Riven, which does say something, right? Hopefully not that I'm stupid. I mean, try it out for yourselves and let me know down in the comments. I do like how Deep Archimedea is making me rediscover these old weapons. Let's just hope I won't be forced to rediscover the stock next week. As always, please do check out the links in the description to the Discord server or merch store, or Ko-Fi and Patreon if you think the content here is neat. Your help will be very, very much appreciated. Otherwise, you could also click on one of the other videos here to watch more.